is going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog back with another freaking video. This one is about the New York Giants, of course. You know, we really don't have much to talk about as far as the New York Giants go right now. OTAs are over, minicamp is over. We won't get into training camp until the end of July, so there's really not much to talk about. But I still want to kind of talk about the New York Giants anyway. Now, there's been a lot of people impressing at OTAs. Will Hernandez has looked really good. Daniel Jones has looked really good. I'll probably do a video on them anyway. But this offensive line is so much better than it was last year. I know a lot of people, not so much, well, Giants fans as well, but a lot of people in our division and pretty much around football give the Giants no chance to do much of anything this year. We're supposed to win 3 games. We're garbage. We're no good. We got no chance. We're a laughing stock. You got rid of our best players. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I've heard it all. See, me personally, I think the New York Giants can be better than a lot of people think they're going to be. Number one, we have an easy schedule. I mean, that's the first and foremost thing. Last year, our schedule was absolutely brutal. Okay? It was brutal. We had a very tough schedule those first 8 games, and I knew that was going to be rough. I actually said if we started the first 8 games 3-5, I thought we could make the playoffs. And that was the truth. I really did think we could make the playoffs if we started 3-5. Now, we lost a couple really close games at the end of the year, but this team played a lot better in the second half. It honestly did, and they were able to score points without Odell Beckham. We saw that in the last 4 games of the season. People can say those games didn't mean anything. Well, they meant something to the Colts. I can tell you that right now, and it meant something to the Eagles. Of course, we didn't finish out that Eagles game, but those games meant something. The Giants are able to score over 30 points, I believe 5 times, including a 40-point game in Washington. We destroyed them 40-16. We hadn't scored over 30 points in 2 years. I believe they did it 5 times last year. This team can be so much better. Now, a lot of people will just look at the star power. A lot of people don't actually look at the team. You know, this is the thing, man. I look at this offensive line. The Giants I say this every time I do a Giants video, man. We've always won with ball control defense. Now, the defense is what worries me more than anything else. With Zeitler, at right guard, Solder and Hernandez on the left side, left guard and left tackle. A lot of people love Will Hernandez and think he could be a Pro Bowl tackle or a Pro Bowl guard this year. Sorry about that. Pro Bowl guard this year. And of course, Mike Remmers, while he's not the best, is a huge upgrade from Chad Wheeler, who was the worst run blocking lineman in the league. Saquon Barkley could easily have 1,500 yards, and Eli Manning should not have to throw the ball 40 times a game. I think if Eli Manning only has to throw the ball 25, 30 times a game, the Giants can succeed. And this receiving core is not awful. Just because they got rid of Odell Beckham doesn't mean this team can't play. Doesn't mean these guys can't catch. Doesn't mean this receiving core can't do damage. You know, I'm going to do a whole other video on this probably another time. But, you know, I look at this wide receiving core, and it can be every bit as good as the receiving core was back in 2011 when we won the Super Bowl. Maybe not as good, but it could definitely be very formidable. I mean, Sterling Shepard is a lot better than he showed. Trust me, I know. I watched this kid play at Oklahoma. I know how good he can be. He's got a lot of talent. He can play inside, outside. He's just got to catch the ball. He's just got to concentrate. Golden Tate's a consummate professional. He'll put this whole wide receiving core together. He knows how to win. He's been there. He's been in the big game. And he's not a distraction. He'll help these young kids concentrate. He'll help these young kids get better. Corey Coleman is an absolute, speedster on the outside. He was great at Baylor. This guy was a first-round pick in 2016. He's been around a long time. You know, he's been around many teams. But Corey Coleman can definitely play. I mean, Corey Coleman's not picked. I forgot what he was picked. I think he was 18th overall. Was somewhere in there. If he didn't have any talent. And then, of course, there's this kid, Darius Slayton, who was turning heads left and right at minicamp and OTAs. His 4.39 speed. He's got a 42-inch vertical leap, and he it took a reaming the first couple of days in OTAs. I mean, he couldn't get on the page, but it was a lot of perseverance showing that this kid took what the coaching staff said to heart, and he figured it out, and he's been one of the best players on the team in OTAs. The Giants, and then of course you have Evan Ingram, who I believe is going to have a breakout season. The Giants just have to run the ball, man. That's really all they need to do on offense. If they can run the ball, they're going to win games. They got to run the ball. They just got to control the ball. They got to stop the run and run the ball. Now, stopping the run is going to be a lot more difficult for us because, again, we don't have a great defensive line. They brought Dexter Lawrence in here to stop the run, obviously, but he and B.J. Hill, those guys up front, maybe they can do it, maybe they can't. We'll just have to wait and see. Our secondary is very young, but it is very talented, and that could also help in the pass game. We don't have the greatest pass rush, that is for damn sure. We certainly don't have a great pass rush. We don't have incredible linemen on defense, but you know what? The secondary, although it's young, this could help out the pass rush because these guys are not going to get burned the way the secondary got burned last year. Now, people can talk about Landon Collins leaving and all this other crap. Think he got $84 million. He's a boxer. You all know how I feel about Landon Collins. Don't like him. Jabril Peppers has been great for us so far. He's looked very good. He's been one of the best players on our defense. You know, like I said, we got DeAndre Baker coming in. We got Julian Love, who's an absolute steal. You got Sam Beal, who was a steal. You got Janoris Jenkins, who's a veteran. You got Antoine Bethea, who's a veteran. So you got a very good mix of young corners and veteran corners. And we had this in 2007 when you had Corey Webster and Aaron Ross out there to go with R.W. McQuarters and a couple other guys. So that is what it is. I think the Giants can be a lot better than people are going to give us credit for. I'm not saying we're going 11-5. I'm not saying we're going 10-6, but people think we're going to win 2 games. We're going to win 4 games. I think the Giants can easily win 7 or 8 games. And, you know, I think if everything breaks right, yes, this team could win 9 games. Who the hell knows? Football is a very strange sport. It really is. But this Giants team is better than a lot of people think it is. And, you know, they'll sit there and talk about Eli Manning, and they'll talk about the fact they got rid of Odell Beckham and Olivier Vernon and Landon Collins and all of our best players. But our best players are our biggest headaches. And I've said this before, team chemistry goes a long way. A lot of this fantasy generation, this generation of fantasy football viewers doesn't understand that. But trust me, I've been around a long time. I've seen all 4 Giants Super Bowl wins, and I can tell you right now, the closest thing they had to a superstar wide receiver in any of those was Victor Cruz. And he was nothing like Odell Beckham. So that is what it is. I just want to throw this video up on the page. I'll do some more Giants stuff going forward. But until next time, guys, it is Baddog, and I am gone. Peace!